So Rex Tillerson fired by Donald Trump. He pointedly refused to resign and then was fired, which again is not unprecedented, but incredibly rare, especially for a position as high as Secretary of State. So then he's going to give a press conference, which is also weird and rare, that as a person has been fired, he now has to go and give a press conference about all the people he's thanking. So first, he makes it clear that in fact, he will be leaving. Let's watch.
I received a call today from the President of the United States at a little after noontime from Air Force One. And I've also spoken to White House Chief of Staff Kelly to ensure we have clarity as to the days ahead. What is most important is to ensure an orderly and smooth transition during a time that the country continues to face significant policy and national security challenges. As such, effective at the end of the day, I'm delegating all responsibilities of the Office of the Secretary to Deputy Secretary of State Sullivan. My commission as Secretary of State will terminate at midnight, March the 31st.
So let me interpret a couple of things in there. His term is supposed to end March 31st. We're not at March 31st. He says, I'm leaving midnight tonight. In other words, I'm out. I'm gone, man. I don't want any piece of this. Then the reason he said he got a call from the president is because reports are from inside the State Department that the first time he officially knew that he was fired was in a tweet. So that again is very non-standard to say the least. But there he's clarifying, no, I got a call from the president and he fired me. So, and then that happened. Okay, so then he goes on to thank people for 6 long minutes. And one person he did not mention in those 6 minutes was President Donald Trump. So then, of course, Washington goes into overdrive on the snub heard around the world. Oh my God, he snubbed him, he snubbed him. Of course he snubbed him, he just got fired by the guy. What is he supposed to say? Like, now, it was an honor to be fired by President Trump. Now remember, there was an earlier report about how Tillerson thought Trump is a moron, in fact, an effing moron. And he never, like, when he was first brought in, everything was hunky-dory. He's like, wow, I'm gonna be Secretary of State. This is amazing, it's an honor, wonderful, all that stuff. He spent some time with Donald Trump and he's like, okay, this guy's a moron, I don't know, I gotta get out of here, right? And at that point he realizes what a clown that Donald Trump is. Eventually that clown fires him. Why in the world would he thank that guy? Of course he's not gonna thank him. It would be preposterous to thank him. So at least he's not a standard politician in that way. And he didn't humiliate himself in that way on his way out, so I respect that. So now, more importantly, at the end, he's gonna take one more shot at Russia here. Now remember, Tillerson used to be great friends with Putin, the leader of Rosneft, which is the largest Russian oil company. He had gotten a medal from Putin and they were on great terms. And in fact, I believe he was brought in because of the deal between ExxonMobil and Russia. So, but since then, things have gone sour, and Tillerson has not been able to lift the old sanctions. And just last week, ExxonMobil announced that no, we are not going to do the deal with Russia anymore. So Russia is now irate at Rex Tillerson, and so he comes out on Monday, right before he's fired, and says the Russians are the ones who did the poisoning of the ex-agent of theirs in the UK. Now, that was not sanctioned by the Trump administration. Apparently, they were furious about that because Trump basically works for Putin. And all of you thinking that's hyperbole, I'll see you guys in the indictments, and I expect apologies at that time. So, and you're still not seeing it? Okay, anyway, so now Tillerson, because he knows what's going on behind the scenes, takes one more shot at Russia on his way out.
And much work remains to respond to the troubling behavior and actions on the part of the Russian government. Russia must assess carefully as to how its actions are in the best interest of the Russian people and of the world more broadly. Continuing on their current trajectory is likely to lead to greater isolation on their part, a situation which is not in anyone's interest.
So he's like, look, man, this isn't gonna work out for any of you guys. Now, one last thing that's unspoken here and no one else is pointing out. Tillerson's a crafty guy. You don't get to be the CEO of ExxonMobil by not being bright. Now, you could say other things about how he got to be the CEO of ExxonMobil. You might say lacking a certain degree of morals as the Fossil fuel companies light up the world with climate change, etc. So don't get me wrong, I'm not praising Rex Tillerson in that sense, but he's no dummy. You don't get to rise up politically with an ExxonMobil if you're not bright. So part of what he's doing is taking a parting shot at Trump and Russia. But the other thing that he's doing is basically saying, man, when this stuff goes down, I ain't got nothing to do with it, man. Remember at the end, I was against Russia. Remember all the things I said against Russia. When you hand out the indictments, I don't want any piece of that. He's a crafty guy, and that's what he was saying there that I think is clear, at least to me, apparently not as clear to the rest of the media. What you just watched was one of the videos that we do today, but we actually do a whole 2-hour show every single day. It's a podcast. You can watch it in video or listen to it as audio. You can download it, you can stream it, and you get it completely ad-free if you could become a member of the Young Turks. tytnetwork.com/join.